pamoja, ushindi kwa ukombozi wetu. Tujitoe wenyewe, tusimame pamoja, kulinda uhuru na umoja wetu. Enyi Bwana na binti wa Afrika, mwili wa jua, mwili wa anga, tuifanye Afrika mti wa uzima. Tuungane sote, tuimbe pamoja, kuenzi shikamano hatima yetu. Tujitoe wenyewe kupambana pamoja, uhuru na umoja vitawale. Enyi Bwana na binti wa Afrika, mwili wa jua, mwili wa anga, tuifanye Afrika mti wa uzima. Tuungane sote na tujibidishe kutoa kilicho bora kwa Afrika. Chimbuko la wanadamu, chemchemi ya utamaduni, tumaini letu wakati wa mafarakano. Enyi Bwana na binti wa Afrika, mwili wa jua, mwili wa anga, tuifanye Afrika mti wa uzima.
Let us talk about the oldest civilization in Africa. Let us talk about one of the oldest civilizations in Africa, one of those countries that were never colonized, a few countries with a rich history, a very strong culture, and an entertaining people, with of course a diverse culture. That country is Ethiopia, and of course we are watching live Humans TV Africa, and in the studio is Vince Bongole to do the production, and my name is Kato Mukasa. I want to encourage you to please subscribe to Humans TV Africa. We are on Facebook, YouTube, and of course TikTok. We are on the global trade to give you the best we can. We have a website, TV Africa. Of course, you can get us wherever you are. We are the only TV station that gives you information that you cannot get elsewhere. This is Humans TV Africa, and of course, you can reach us. Our email is right there, and of course, our website is right on your screen today. Let us talk about Ethiopia, a country that was never colonized. Whereas the Europeans were all over the world looking to who to steal, what to take, they never took Ethiopia. At the Battle of Adok, Ethiopia defeated Italians, killed thousands of them, and ran away for their dear life. They never came back. Only when Mussolini was in power, they came back, bombed them, destroyed the Ethiopians, tear-gassed them. They used weapons of mass destruction that time under fascist Mussolini, and tried to disorganize Ethiopia for 5 years. But again, Haile Selassie, the emperor of Ethiopia, regrouped, came back, and defeated Mussolini and his thugs out of Ethiopia. Let us look at Ethiopia. We shall start with the basics, the map of Ethiopia. Let us go into it right now. Ethiopia's map, as you can see, Ethiopia has different maps. It's the only country in the world. Let's give us the whole screen now. The only country in the world that has not one, not two, but as I speak, 12 maps. But this is the official one. Why is this country having all these maps? We are going to be seeing the maps and of course the flags. I will talk about the flags. Sorry. Ethiopia has 12 flags. The only country with several flags. Why are they having 12 flags? as I speak, because initially they have been having 8, but today they have 12 flags. Why? Because of the 12 regions that make Ethiopia. They want to make sure that every region feels very proud of Ethiopia, one of the oldest um, countries in the world, independent countries that were never colonized. Flag timeline, flag timeline, Ethiopia. 1875, Ethiopia had a flag. You can't imagine. 1875, Ethiopia had a flag, and these flags have been changing. There's the Lion of Judah, and until 2009, when they got their recent one down there at the bottom, their flags keep on changing from one to another. But remember, the regions that are semi-independent have their own flags, because Ethiopia has a people that are actually very proud to be called Ethiopians. They have over 80 tribes in Ethiopia. They have over 80 tribes in Ethiopia. And of course, with the Amhara, one of the most predominant, most influential tribes in Ethiopia. Ethiopia's history goes back, as I told you, it is one of the oldest civilizations in human history. The human ancestry can also be traced in Ethiopia. And of course, from the discovery of the Awash Valley in Ethiopia, right there. As you can see, those images then keep on moving them slowly. You shall look at also other countries that are surrounding Ethiopia. Let's look at the statistics of Ethiopia as we speak. As we speak today, Ethiopia has 123 million people per 2022 census right there. The population growth is quite high, as you can see. And of course, age dependence is over 74%. Age dependence is a big thing in Africa. Urban population is quite high. Urban population is quite high. And of course, when you compare people in urban areas, I was in Ethiopia, I should say. I was in Ethiopia, and I can tell you, many people in Ethiopia live in cities. When you go to the villages in Ethiopia, you'll be surprised to find very clean, abandoned land in the villages. Infant mortality rate in Ethiopia is 34 per 1,000 live births, which is a bit high. And of course, Ethiopia's life expectancy is 54 years. Life expectancy is not that bad there. And of course, Ethiopia has an age distribution there, as you can see. Many people in Ethiopia are between 15 to 64 years. Between 15 to 64 years. Of course, the aged ones are only 3%. And of course, the young ones are also between 39% to, of course, 40%. When I was in Ethiopia, I was surprised to understand that Ethiopia is one of the countries that accepts abortion. I was in Ethiopia and I was taken to abortion clinics. It explains to you why they are trying to check the population that way. Now, electricity in Ethiopia is actually generated right there. The production there is seen in 14 billion kilowatts, and of course, consumption is only 9 billion, which means they can also export their electricity. And they import zero electricity, by the way. They also have renewable energy in Ethiopia right there. Let us look at other maps, please. Other figures. Production of oil is zero. They have no oil, of course. Ethiopia has no oil yet there, but they do a lot of consumption, which means they try to find ways of getting this oil. Now, in terms of airports, they have 57 in different areas, and of course, they have cellular phones, which is about 62 million there. And of course, highways are quite many, 120,000 kilometers covered. Internet users are 15 million. And of course, railways are 659 kilometers of railway coverage in Ethiopia. When I was in Ethiopia, I was able to use their railway system. I think it's one of the best railway systems I've used in Africa. When I was in Ethiopia, I used their railway system, and of course, I also used their railway coverage right there. Let us have a look at other statistics of Ethiopia. Location of Ethiopia is in Eastern Africa, west of Somalia. Total area is right there. Ethiopia is one of the largest countries in the world. Total area is 1,000,000 and plus square kilometers. It's one of the largest countries in Africa. And of course, it has a water coverage right there, which takes 7,730 square kilometers. The coastline is known there, of course. The climate is more of tropical, monsoon, with wide topographic induced variation. The terrain is quite high plateau, which is very, very promising, and of course, divided by the Great Rift Valley. When you go to Ethiopia, it's not the central mountain range, divided by the Great Rift Valley in Ethiopia. They have one of the best environments, I should tell you. Green sky, and of course, very, very green vegetation right there. The lowest point there is Danakili, depression at negative 125. Yes, right there. Now, highest point, of course, the highest point there is Ras Dijen, which is at 415 there. Now, the geology of Ethiopia, I told you Ethiopia, in terms of minerals, Ethiopia is one of the wealthiest countries in the world. Ethiopia has minerals which range from gold. Ethiopia has had gold since ancient times. It has marble, it has manganese, it has quartz, platinum, copper, potash, and natural gas. Ethiopia also has feldspar, it has kaolin, it has dolomite, and of course it has gypsum, clay, salt, cement, platinum, gemstones, shell, soda ash, and nubia, nickel, and many other precious metals, including marble. All those maps are showing you where these minerals I'm mentioning are in Ethiopia. So Ethiopia is a wealthy nation. Gold is there. The marble, the niobium, the copper. Copper is right there. The manganese is right there. And of course, the platinum, the quartz, and of course, the natural gas. So you can see all those maps are showing you what is in Ethiopia, the simplified geological map of Ethiopia with the locality of the minerals I am mentioning about. Ethiopia is quite a well-blessed nation there. In terms of wildlife, in terms of the falls right there, Ethiopia is really well endowed. It has one of the animals that you will not see anywhere in the world, by the way. Do you know that animals such as the Ethiopian wolf are only seen in Ethiopia? You see those falls there. We talk about the warrior ibex, the Swanese cat beasts, and the mountain nyara. All those animals can only be seen in Ethiopia. Ethiopia, the capital city, of course, is Addis, or they call it Addis Ababa. Ethiopia has, of course, the Nestia National Park, where the lions, leopards, cheetah, and African wild dogs can be seen. Of course, they have some bit of elephants right there, and of course, they have lions. Ethiopia has one of the best cities in the world. I'm talking about Addis Ababa, one of the best cities in the world. I've been there. Ethiopia has one of the coolest cities. Coolest because it has so many trees within the city. I was surprised when I was in Ethiopia. But of course, it has all these water points here and there. You go there and you find that it's very interesting. Talk about the animal world in Ethiopia. I've told you that Ethiopia is full of animals that will go there and get excited. The lions, the hippos, of course, they have the elephants, they have the crocodiles. In the Nestia National Park, of course, they have the monstrous crocodiles, one of the biggest crocodiles you see. You can find them in Ethiopia. I told you, they are animals you only see in Ethiopia, including the Ethiopian wolf, the warrior ibex, the Swanese heat beasts, and then the mountain nyara. Of course, the buildings in Ethiopia are quite good. I was in Ethiopia and I was lucky enough to visit much of Ethiopia, and I was able to see their culture. 122 million people right there. Of course, I was able to know that Ethiopia, politically, Ethiopia is a federal republic under the 1994 Constitution. It has the executive branch, which includes the president, the council of the state, and of course, the council of ministers. Council of State, Council of Ministers, the President, and of course the executive power is within the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister in Ethiopia has so much powers than actually the President would have. The Prime Minister in Ethiopia has so much power. So there is a bicameral parliament. There's a bicameral parliament, of course, the national legislative elections, and of course councils. And the recent one was held in painting in 2005, among others. Ethiopia has been a country with all these animals. I told you, you go to Ethiopia, you'll see animals. They have large pieces of land that are free from people, that actually are dedicated to only these animals. They have 80 tribes. It's a mixed people right in Ethiopia, which is also very diverse, very unique. They are Caucasians that have been in Ethiopia for hundreds of years. They are Africans, they are Asians, they are ethnic groups, which also has the Semites and Cushites, call them the Afro-Asiatic people. They also grow coffee in Ethiopia. I was able to take Ethiopian tea. I should tell you, Ethiopia has one of the best tea in the world. Of course, I ate their food. Their food is called Ankara. Yes, I think it's called Ankara. I also ate their food. They have one of the best coffee, the best tea in Ethiopia, right there. Ethiopia is also divided into 12 regions as I speak, and chartered cities. And each region is chartered with a big city and with their own flag. That lady there in Ethiopia, one of the best things you can take in Ethiopia is the tea. They have very small cups. I have their cups, very small clay cups. They give you tea, which is super, super, super hot, but also super, super aromatic. Their tea is actually very good. I told you, Ethiopia has that food. I ate their food. I think it's called Ankara. And yes, Ankara, some bit of rice, some bit of meat. They eat a lot of meat in Ethiopia. They have rice. They also have this Ankara thing they make, it's like chapati or something like that. And it's very, very tasty. Their food is very tasty. Of course, Ethiopia is also known for being a country that resisted Mussolini and his fascism. They fought Mussolini and his fascism. Remember, Mussolini invaded Ethiopia on October 3rd, 1935. Benedict Mussolini invaded Ethiopia, and he did the unthinkable. He poisoned Ethiopians, poisonous gas, aerial bombardments, flamethrowers, and of course, he used concentration camps to defeat Ethiopians. I'm still showing you, of course, the wild animals in Ethiopia as I tell you what happened in Ethiopia in 1935 when Mussolini came and did the unthinkable, used poisonous gas and aerial bombings and killed thousands of Ethiopians. For 5 years, Ethiopia was under Mussolini, but they never gave up. In Ethiopia, you will see lions that climb trees, leopards that climb trees. You can see them in Ethiopia, I should tell you. That's how that's how rich Ethiopia is. In terms of biblical history, it has been said in biblical propaganda that the Ethiopian has a true linkage with Israel. In fact, some people think that Ethiopians are part of the Semitic people. That is Haile Selassie, one of the most known emperors in the world. Haile Selassie, the man who resisted Italians, the man who resisted Italians for a long, long, long time. Remember, Italians were defeated by Ethiopians at the Battle of Adwa. Now, Ethiopians have been known for the lion image, the king of Judah. When you look at your Bible, you talk about King Solomon, you talk about Queen Sheba, and the Solomonic dynasty that made Ethiopian kings. We see Haile Selassie coming up. Do you know that in Ethiopia, they have their own religion? And actually, at one point, Haile Selassie was also worshipped as a god. Haile Selassie was also worshipped as a god, the king of Judah, the lion of Judah. Your Bible talks about the lion of Judah, and they are referring to Ethiopia. So there's a lot of propaganda in the Bible that talks about Ethiopia as a people's god, as a tribe of Judah, as part of Israel. So Christians think Ethiopia has a special place in the history of the region. And they may be right. Of course, we talk about King Solomon, Queen Sheba, and Solomonic dynasty. We talk about Ethiopia right there. And of course, we know that Italian forces were defeated at the Battle of Adwa in 1896. So they adopted the line of Judah, having defeated Italians so many years ago. And of course, they've been having this line of Judah, of course, even before that event happened. In terms of religion, Ethiopians have their own Orthodox religion. They have their own calendar. They have their own history they follow. Ethiopian calendar is a bit different from the rest of the world. They have their own calendar, they have their own principles, they have their own religion. And that man, Haile Selassie, the man who ruled Ethiopia, uh, and again, the Italians got him out of the power, but also, of course, came back and ruled again. That man made a history as one of the realist leaders of Ethiopia that made history right there in Ethiopia. The man who defeated the Italians, even when they had defeated him at one point, but he was able to regain the independence of Ethiopia. Haile Selassie. Haile Selassie, a man known for his heroism and has been worshipped as a leader of Ethiopia. Remember, Ethiopian Orthodox Church is one of the leading churches in the world. That is Ethiopia in Greece, a country that was never colonized, a country that defeated the Italians in 1896 at the Battle of Adwa and killed thousands and thousands of Italians until 1935, when Mussolini came back to revenge the Italian glory, but still, after 5 years, he was defeated in that to leave Ethiopia. Ethiopia, a rich country, so many minerals, a country with Caucasian, Asiatic people, African people. When you look at the genotype of Ethiopians, they are mixed people. The Europeans, they are Asians, Asiatic Ethiopians, European Ethiopians, Semitic Ethiopians, Semitic, Afro-Asiatic. Those are all Ethiopians. When you go there, you look at their skin texture, look at their hair, their height, you see that they are quite different. And they are very jolly people in Ethiopia. I like their hospitality. When I was there, they have the best tourism areas. They have the best historical sites. When I was there, I was able to go and visit what they call the original Bible. I saw their old Bible, and they said our Bible was the first. It was written on the goat scale. When I was in Ethiopia, I was shown their earliest churches, which have been there for thousands of years. Ethiopians keep history. They are proud of their history. They will tell you, we are never conquered. We have been our own masters since then. They have their history. There are 80 plus tribes in Ethiopia, so many languages in Ethiopia, but of course, they are also proud of their connection with their Orthodox way of worshiping. At one point, Haile Selassie was worshipped as a god. Negus Negasta, the man was worshipped as a god because of his heroism and because of his vision for Ethiopia. Of course, we know how he died, how he ended up, of course, dying at about 8 years, and of course, his dynasty collapsed. Yes, somehow it ended with Haile Selassie, and there have been a different kind of leadership in Ethiopia since then. But this country has one of the best terrain when you go there. The hills, the valleys, the green vegetation, the national parks, the economy is doing very well. Yes, regardless of some bit of challenges, the Ethiopian economy is doing quite well. Of course, they have the Ethiopian Air. I've been traveling all over the world, sometimes using Ethiopian Airline. I love Ethiopia, and I should say, why not go to Ethiopia and see this and more. Thank you so much, Dennis, for this wonderful show. Please, those watching us, subscribe, share, like, and make sure that people know that we are here. We are Human TV Africa to showcase Africa and show you the beauty others do not tell you about Africa. See you in the next one.
Tuungane sote na tushereke pamoja ushindi kwa ukombozi wetu. Tujitoe wenyewe, tusimame pamoja kulinda uhuru na umoja wetu. Enyi Bwana na binti wa Afrika, mwili wa jua, mwili wa pamoja, kuenzi shikamano hatima yetu. Tujitoe wenyewe kupambana pamoja, uhuru na umoja vitawale. Enyi bwana na binti wa Afrika, mwili wa jua, mwili wa anga, tuifanye Afrika mti wa uzima. Tuungane sote na tujibidishe kutoa kilicho bora kwa Afrika, chimbuko la wanadamu, chemchemi ya